A very warm welcome back, like I always say. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're excited to take a look at some of the latest industry developments. In today's episode, there's coverage on Emirates, an airline acquisition that may not be going according to plan, and lastly, some developments on Boeing and the 737-7, and that is where I want to begin. I believe it's the feature or headline story of this video. Southwest is once more adjusting its delivery forecast from Boeing, which will no longer include the 737-7, the smallest member of the MAX series, this year. Certification delays currently plague the 737-7, which is the smallest member in the MAX series. You may actually recall, I believe I've mentioned it a couple of times since, Southwest, a major US airline, had initially forecasted in late 2023, their expectation would be they would welcome the type in 2024. This would follow a forecast that would see an April 2024 certification timeline, and this included potential niggles that may have emerged, but I think we can all agree that nothing quite on the scale of what we've seen take place. Based on Southwest's guidance, it's likely Boeing will miss this. Away from the 737-7, and in a sense involving this aircraft too, just a little bit, Southwest has said that it expects to take fewer deliveries of the MAX series overall as Boeing battles with ongoing investigations, concerns around quality control, and much more. Ultimately, for a company that is all Boeing and an airline that relies only on the 737 series, failure to deliver the required amount of MAX jets to aid growth and fleet renewal will impact them greatly. Southwest is not the only customer impacted by Boeing's ongoing situation. All airlines relying on the MAX are feeling the heat simultaneously. However, the operational impact is something that is always going to vary, depending on the size of the commitment, depending on the cover airlines have, and much more. United says that their forecasting growth won't be as fast as initially expected because of continued troubles with the MAX jets, which highlights that rather than the airline struggling, it's actually the plane maker that is stopping the company from growing as fast as possible. Ryanair has been incredibly vocal about their frustrations over the uncertified 737-10 and the lack of clarity surrounding it. Now, through the latest incident from that Alaska Airlines plane and the subsequent fallout, which many would argue has taken center stage, the concerns that the timeline will stretch even further become more and more present. Internally at United Airlines, well, they're not expecting the 737-10 anytime soon, and are creating alternative plans that do not include this variant. That may mean leasing aircraft on, rejigging their order portfolio, or looking elsewhere completely. Following a freeze and increasing production rates by the FAA, other customers worldwide could now be put under more pressure, as their already delayed planes are delayed further. These delays in certification to the 737-7 that are thus seeing Southwest adjust their focus do stem from the 737-9 fallout. While this variant's grounding period has drawn to a close, it's hardly the end of problems for Boeing, with investigations taking place, production stand-downs, and airlines investigating production practices, among much more like inspections. In the space of a month, Boeing's 2024, initially earmarked as another essential year of rebuilding, increasing production, and meeting deadlines, has rapidly come undone, with a complete reshift in focus, impacting themselves, their customers, and all other relevant parties. Onto our next story, and that moves over to Dubai with Emirates, who have announced that they will be boosting flights, and also subsequent capacity, to Australia as part of a continued ramp-up of the global network. From October 1st, 2024, Emirates has revealed that its second daily flight, which operates as EK 430 and 431, which originates in Dubai, will be swapped to the A380. And you may be wondering, where is this headed in Australia? Well, it's Brisbane, and they'll now see a double daily A380 service that will be in position to meet the growing demand to travel to and from the city. The A380 will arrive in Brisbane at around 10:20 p.m. before departing at 2:30 in the morning. Additionally, Emirates has announced plans to increase its operations towards towards Western Australia. Now, this will be achieved through another new additional daily flight to Perth. Emirates will utilise the 777-300ER, with this commencing from December 1st, so still some time away, but one of the integral parts about building a schedule is doing so in advance. This flight will arrive into Perth just after midnight and then depart at 6 AM back to Dubai. Emirates says these two changes to its network towards Australia will benefit many more locations. A second daily flight between Dubai and Perth will increase connectivity to European, African, and Middle Eastern destinations. Additionally, Brisbane's service, upgrading to a second daily A380, will focus on enhancing connectivity to the UK, Italy, France, Turkey, Pakistan, and even Egypt. If you're after just how much of an increase we will be seeing, well, the changes will reflect an additional 6,900 seats per week, which naturally increases their presence in the country and provides further options to Australians looking to travel to Dubai or onwards throughout the network. Today's final story sits with the International Airlines Group's proposed acquisition of Air Europa, which is now facing fresh concerns following the European Commission's initiating an investigation into the acquisition under merger regulations. This feels like something we're seeing more and more happen, but it's not a foreign thing to take place. Initially, IAG said it would actually pay USD $423 million for the remaining 80% of Air Europa, with the belief once an acquisition closed, IAG would be able to cement its place in the South Atlantic. So, as part of the new evaluation, some concerns have been identified, really focusing on the impact that'll be felt across Europe, and especially within Spain for your short-haul routes. The fear of the effects of services towards the Spanish islands is another key focal point for the European Commission when they're conducting this investigation/evaluation. However, away from just the short to medium-haul flights I speak of, there would be negative implications felt on long-haul routes to North and South American destinations. Why is this? Well, the primary concern relates to the reduction in competition, the impact of the portfolio of slots into key airports, and how this will influence other airlines across multiple different types of networks. The European Commission will have until June to come to a verdict, and away from the impact on competition, if this deal in any sense is going to hurt consumers with increased prices or even a major quality drop, it will be rejected. Mergers, acquisitions, takeovers, however you want to look at it, but you can generalize it by saying consolidation, is becoming more and more common in our industry, and with that, it means it is going to be heavily criticized by watchdogs. Some will be approved, but equally some will be rejected, as analysts target every element to see if there will be a negative impact. On several occasions, these watchdogs do find reasons to reject the proposed acquisition that is under investigation, and it has the potential to be a massive blow for the airline or group trying to get such a thing done. Time will tell what happens with the IAG acquisition of Air Europa, but within Europe as well, Lufthansa Group's attempts to take a hold of ITA Airways on a firmer base through a stake is also under close investigation for similar reasons. So there is a lot going on. I appreciate your support here on the channel. As always, if you have any thoughts on the topics covered in today's video, it would be greatly appreciated if you left those thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks again, take care, do also be safe, and I will see you next time.